Hello, Uptown, and welcome. I'm Richard Cole, your imagination funk soloist and host of Amari Purple Talk, and this will be my reaction to the Chapter 1 preview from Prince and the Parade Sign of the Times Era Studio Sessions Chapter 1 preview reaction. Thank you once again for tuning in. Please leave your comments in the comment section below. And please download on your favorite podcast platform. If you're listening on YouTube, please like and subscribe. And please continue to send your questions or topic suggestions for Amari Purple Talk. And how you can do that is by clicking the link in the show notes below, either the website link for Amari Communications or by following me on Twitter at RichardCole_now using the hashtag Amari Purple Talk, and your topic or question might just be read in a future episode. All right, and with that out of the way, let's discuss Chapter 1 that has been dropped or leaked or sneak preview, whatever you want to call it, released by Dwayne Tudhall. You can download a PDF version for free on his website, and I will leave that link in the show notes so you too can download it and kind of get a sneak preview as to what this book is going to be all about. Now, I'm not going to get into any spoilers or try not to get into heavy spoilers, even though Chapter 1 is available for you to look at, because I want to save those thoughts for when the book is actually released, and I believe that is still a June 7th release date. I'm looking at the website now. While it doesn't give an actual release date, I know I did pre-order mine on Amazon, and as of now, double checking that, still says delivery date pending. But sometime in June of this year, do expect this to be on your shelves, or you can pre-order from his website. There, if you do a pre-order, you will receive a limited signed and numbered copy of the hardback first edition of this book. So by all means, check out that website and place your order. Now, if you've had a chance to read Dwayne's first book, which was Prince and the Purple Rain Era Studio Sessions, there we received not only very well researched and detailed information regarding the studio sessions that yielded the Purple Rain album, the Times Ice Cream Castle, Sheila E.'s first album, Apollonia 6, various vault tracks that some of which have now seen the light of day thanks to the release of the Purple Rain Super Deluxe Edition, as well as originals. So if you don't have the original CD, check that out also. And in that first book, again, you kind of get that fly on the wall experience, what was going on in the studio, what was done that day. And in some cases, you receive some backstory, because what separates this book from other books about, say Jimi Hendrix or the Beatles studio sessions, you have the benefit of interviewing, or Dwayne having interviewed many of the people that were there at the sessions, the engineers, various artists, and then the artists that he wasn't able to interview. There are well-documented interviews that help fill in the blanks. So you get a little bit of a background. But to me, with that book, the story was more about really the recording of the Purple Rain album. With this volume, and based on the first chapter, what we're going to get is something different. So in addition to the detailed studio notes, we're actually going to get something of a narrative with this. So while it may not necessarily read like a biography where there is plenty of narrative from beginning to end, almost as if telling a story, I do believe that this second volume will take things to the next level. Like I said, it'll be a narrative. It will be from the indications of chapter one. And given what was going on in Prince's life during, say, the recording of Parade, once you get there and into Sign of the Times, maybe slightly before then, that in a lot of cases, this could be a love story, or at least a love story in Prince world anyway. So that's going to be very interesting. And because of that, you'll get the motivation or the inspiration of a lot of the songs, whether the stuff that's been officially released, a lot of the vault tracks, especially the stuff that's been on the Sign of the Times Super Deluxe Edition. We'll see the beginnings of a narrative. And this is something that really hasn't been touched on a lot during a lot of Prince biographies. So this will be a very, very exciting book to me. And as I predicted months ago with this volume, comparing the Purple Rain Sessions volume to the first Star Wars movie, the second volume is definitely going to be the Empire Strikes Back of this. And I'm excited for this book to be released. Basically, like I said, without spoiling everything in it, I'll let you guys read it. Chapter one, it focuses on the winding down of the Purple Rain tour. And even as that's winding down, you have Prince getting a little frustrated. Purple Rain's become this huge thing. The momentum hasn't slowed down. It's nearing Thriller proportions. And while for most artists that would be a good thing, for him it's not necessarily a good thing. He wants to get back into the studio. And yes, as it's winding down, as he's kind of soldiering through it, as the revolution is soldiering through it, there's work to be done on Sheila E.'s second album. And we start to get the background of a lot of the songs and where they were recorded, how they were recorded. And, what I liked about this, it's going to continue that feeling I had with the first book, in which as I'm reading about a lot of the songs, it made me want to go into, if I had the official version, hey, go back, let me listen to that album one more time and see, let me listen to that track with Purple Rain, or some of the vault stuff. If I had it as a bootleg, let me go back and dig that track up. And it's like, oh yeah, that's great. And even with the release of the Purple Rain Super Deluxe and Originals, it was just knowing the context and the history behind those songs. And now, or for a lot of fans, having that documentation available, to me, it just adds more excitement as a collector. So that feeling, that momentum with the second volume, for me, it definitely continues. It's like, oh, yeah, because you take it for granted. Like, oh, yeah, Romance 1600, yeah, that album, it was great. But now it's like, oh, yeah, well, Toy Box was recorded like this. Let me go back and listen to that. Or so-and-so played on. Let me go back and listen to that. So for me, I'm very glad books like this are starting to exist for Prince, because I've always enjoyed it with other artists that have those like similar books available. Because even though I like, reading artists' biographies and their life stories and seeing what what adversities they've had to overcome, their highs, their lows, the beginning, the end. What I'm really and truly a fan of is of the music, the body of work. And I'm always fascinated by, how was this song recorded? Who played on what, who wrote what, who produced what. And with Prince, again, like I said, I'm glad these volumes exist, because we get something that focuses on that aspect, to me, which is the most important aspect of Prince, which is to really know who he was, is to know the music. So I'm glad we get that. Like I said, again, there's certain narratives, there's certain anecdotes, and that's going to be exciting to read, and we'll get other things, documentaries and stuff like that down the road. But to me, I think my favorite historical documentation will be these two volumes, and I am hoping for many more. So Dwayne, thanks for cranking these out. I know it takes a long time to put them together, but we're glad for your effort, your research, your work ethic, your drive to get these things out to us. Because we need that part to be preserved more than anything. We got everything else covered as far as protecting the legacy, and the estate's doing their thing. But for someone to be sort of the Mark Lewison of Prince music, a big thank you. And before I sign off on this, speaking of work ethic, we know from the Purple Rain era sessions the work ethic and the drive and the genius that Prince was able to, the wealth of albums, not just Purple Rain, but Ice Cream Castles, Apollonia 6, Glamorous Life, the beginnings of the Family album, Maserati's album. Knowing all of that and being awestruck by that, reading this chapter 1, and it just really just covers the month of January of 1985, but the middle of one of the biggest tours in rock history, and then finding the time to record music, whether a lot of it was intentionally for Sheila's second album or not, or just because to feed his need to create new music. The magnitude of songs that were done just in the month of January 1985, it takes a good 80% to 90% of artists past, present, and future to come up with that many songs in 2 years. So again, I'm looking forward to this just to be overwhelmed and taken by surprise again. Even though we're reading about the past, even though we understand it, a lot of us that have been collecting the sort of bootlegs for years, and following Uptown Magazine, the book The Vault, and other fan, chat rooms and websites, to have that historical documentation put in the, in actual chronological order this way, man. Like I said, this is going to be a fun read. So by all means, check this book out. So that's going to end this reaction video for the chapter 1 preview of Prince and the Parade Sign of the Times era studio sessions by Dwayne Tudall. Once again, bro, thanks for putting this book out. Can't wait till this one drops. And that is going to end it right here. Once again, thanks for tuning in. And as always, please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and check back here every Monday with the Amari Purple Talk. Let's keep it purple and on the one.